welcome. It is January 16th. We are here in the club. We got a bunch of people that have braved the rainstorm, the monsoon.
Yeah.
We have some of our Zoomers who did not want to come out in the rain, and that's okay. We don't blame them. All right. To start today, we have some videos from Holly, Catherine, and Sherry Lee. And then we've got a couple here in the clubhouse, at least one in the clubhouse. Sherry Lee, why don't you start? Tell us about your video, and then let's see what you got.
Okay. Well, I showed you a little segment last week of that was part of this video, which is the Laos portion of our trip. So this is episode 2 of our Southeast Asia trip.
Great.
And that's what I'm going to share. Savadi. We are now arriving in Laos. Our destination, Luang Prabang, the ancient royal capital and a UNESCO site village. Our bus was too big for the village, so our main transportation in and out was by jumbo. Our UNESCO hotel was very nice and wonderfully close to the night and morning markets. Our local guide, Lau, took us on a nice walking tour of the village while sharing fascinating stories of its royal history. Fun fact, Lau didn't have a known birth date and got to choose his own when he started school. A special place we stopped at? Big Brother Mouse. We met with Laotian students to converse in English. Way cool. Now to experience the Mekong River, the Pak U Cave, and the Muang Hem village. Lau shared that the Mekong River has 1,000 species of fish and up to 800-pound catfish. Pak U Cave. It is believed that the Lao people first entered the caves in the middle of the 8th century. In the 16th century, Buddhism was adopted and annual pilgrimages began. And we added our own Buddha. Muang Hem village. Just a short climb up to the village, passing first through their temple grounds and conversing with novice monks. Then on to the village itself. Here, we got to learn to make dried river grass, a local staple. Fun story? Until this demonstration, I would see these lovely packages in the market that I thought were fabric.
This is like what she said. She sent it to town. A small piece like this, 5,000 kip. I think this is will be more.
Rounding off our visit, playing bocce ball with the village champion. Back on the boat, we enjoyed samples of seagrass and local beer. It was a truly beautiful day, living the life of a Laotian, starting with the daily morning ritual of giving alms to the monks. For the people, it sets up their day for blessings. For the monks, it provides their nourishment for the day, along with providing the people an opportunity to be blessed in giving. When we had given all our rice, we stood back and observed, then stopped at the temple with additional provisions. This ritual is followed by a traditional Lao breakfast. Now it's time to shop in the morning market for the afternoon lunch in a Hmong village.
Sir, mặt nạ
now.
มักนาว
Mac now.
ซื้อ
ซื้อ
ข้าวปุ้น
ข้าวปุ้น
Yeah. Be next.
They're going.
Okay. ซื้อ
Su
กะหล่ำปี
got love. You can have that one.
The locals have no need for refrigeration as fresh food is purchased daily in the morning market. And up the mountain we go to the Hmong village, where we are greeted by the village leaders and curious children. Some of our travel money has been used to install electricity, toilets, and water towers, paint interior and exterior of buildings, and build a school. The visit with the school was very special. Next stop was to meet their local shaman in her home. She also demonstrated how she makes moonshine and shared samples with us. Then an amazing treat. The village chief shared their New Year blessing dance. Followed by a traditional village lunch. In the meantime, Chef Fred prepared a U.S. dish as a gift for the village leaders. He did a great job making shrimp scampi over wood fire. Khop jai lai lai. We got back in time for a foot massage and to enjoy the night market and street food. Goodbye now to the charming Luang Prabang. Welcome the big city experience in Vientiane, the capital of Laos. We had a comfortable room in the beautiful hotel Sabadi Alao. Almost immediately, we were whisked off to a host family dinner. The oldest son delighted us with snacks and conversation, then guided us to the kitchen.
Of food. The first one is chicken, and the second one we would cook papaya salad.
At the table, Mom tied a blessing string on each of our wrists. Fun note, Fred and I completed the dancing with some swing. Khop jai lai lai. Refreshing sleep and off to the Sisaket Museum. Did you know there are numerous Buddha positions? The day you were born on has a dedicated Buddha. The info here was found on the internet. Here, we were fortunate to have an open discussion with a monk. He shared about his lifestyle, clothing, and his pursuit of enlightenment. We thanked him with an offering. At the Cope Center, we learned about the ongoing devastating effect of years of cluster bombs dropped during the Vietnam War, which locals refer to as the American War. Approximately 78 million live bombs were left behind. The majority are buried under people's homes or in their farmland. 40% of the victims in the last decade have been children. This center provides information, support, and prosthetics. We happened to be in Vientiane during the Luang Festival, held at the most important religious monument in Laos, the Golden Stupa. Respectfully dressing in Lao fashion, we joined the crowds to enter the temple grounds. Worshippers make a pilgrimage to this event at least once in their lifetime. We chose this opportunity to honor Alan E. Lewis, chairman of Grand Circle Corporation, who passed during our trip. Quoted from his son and daughter, "Dad leaves behind a legacy of giving back to help change people's lives and change the earth we share. He believed in the transformative power of travel, in fostering deep connections with other cultures, showing the real deal, and encouraging the moments of epiphany that lie just outside of one's comfort zone. To Dad, this was never simply the travel business. He believed he was in the business of changing people's lives. Thank you, Alan, for all the travel experiences you have made possible for us." A solemn yet significant closing to our visit in Laos.
Well, what do we think? We think it was great and kind of impressed with the way she did transitions. Usually the transitions tend to detract from the overall presentation, but her use of the dual frame and how they faded from one was just excellent. Sure, it did not detract from it at all. Just kind of sucked in.
What did you think of her narration? I thought it was
Excellent. It's always.
It's so just peacefully, almost conversational, almost like she's right there talking to you. Great job, Sherry.
Thank you. Great job.
Yeah.
That's just enough information.
And I liked hearing about the Grand Circle founder.
Mhm.
That was very nice to know. I'd been on a similar trip. It wasn't with Grand Circle in Thailand. And it's fascinating how the government has worked with the villages to create these tourist tours, really. I hope they're authentic. I think a lot of it is, certainly. But I was kind of thinking as I watched yours, how would it be if there was an American village that was run that way? That would be really interesting to do. So Multimedia SIG, there's a little project for you.
I'll donate the village.
Carrie Lee, do you like the way that those trips are handled in terms of where they take you and what you see?
Yes, we've traveled with cruise touring, and we've done Viking tours, and we've done Gate 1 tours. And this group, OAT/Grand Circle, just goes into so much more depth. And I wouldn't call it a vacation, but it is an absolute experience with the good, the ugly, the things that are hot, hot topics that you don't get in regular tours. So that's something that, I really like. They really focus on getting you up close and personal with the local people and the way that they live. So
Nice.
yeah,
Great.
Was the whole Asia trip with that same company?
yes.
Okay, great.
And that was Grand Circle is like the overseer of OAT.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. That's good to know.
Parent,
Thanks.
it's a parent company, yeah,
Yeah, okay.
That was an OAT trip.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Does anybody have anything else about the video?
Well, just once again, Sherry Lee, you've immersed us in your travels. It's amazing, the depth of, the presentations and everything. And it really draws you in.
You know, the only thing that and this is just a minor thing and maybe a thought, Shirley, Lee, when you were doing your Laos names and stuff, for some of them, you had the text up there of what you were saying and others you didn't. Maybe it's a thought to go back in and add that just so we see it as you're saying it. It might impact a little bit more. It's just a thought, but you know. At some point, you're probably like, I'm done with that. I'm on to the next segment.
Well, I always appreciate the input because I do incorporate things, or I at least give consideration to incorporating things in the next video.
Well, you do a great job as always. I'm always impressed. The music was great that you picked, very appropriate. And I even talked about it in the trailer that we had last week. The kids singing to me was like, yeah, that was like the home run of that whole video. Very cute. So good job on that.
Where did you get the music from?
Some of the music came from the YouTube library and some of it was stuff that I just recorded live while I was there.
Nice. All right. We got a video from Catherine. She's got for me. I've got it here on the computer. So Catherine, why don't you tell us a little bit about this video and then I'll play it for you.
Okay, well, first of all, I've got two versions of this. One is just text only, and the other one I'm trying to do voiceovers, and I need Sherry to come over and give me some help. Because I just don't have it, but I'm going to show you the one with the voiceover. And this is also an OAT trip. So it was my first one with them since they've been bought out by Grand Circle, but it is an amazing company. So I'll just let you see it, and then maybe you can get some comments, especially about if I should work on the voiceover more, because there seems to be problems with some reverberation in the room. So I got to go find a place to, you know, actually create it, or maybe get a better microphone or something. But anyway, go ahead and look, and then let me know what you think.
Is this the version that I have here in the club on my computer?
Yeah, that's the one you have. It's with the voiceover.
Okay. All right. Well, let's give that a try.
Okay. Welcome to Oslo, the capital of Norway, a city rich in culture and amazing architecture. An example of the architecture is the Oslo Opera House, and in front of it floats a stainless steel and glass structure called She Lies. Oslo was established in the 1100s, so there are historical buildings as well, such as the Akershus Fortress shown here. Let's take a walk along the Akersevala River that runs through part of Oslo. In an unassuming square in the middle of the business district, we found thousands of bronze green figurines in place of paving stones, or under the stones seeming to lift them up. everywhere, from modern artistic sculptures to a sculpture of Edvard Grieg to amazing street art. The Munch Museum is another architectural wonder. It houses much of the work of Edvard Munch, including several prints and lithographs of the Scream. This one is called The Sun and is part of Edvard Munch's monumental collection. Gustav Vigeland lived between 1869 and 1943. He was the most revered sculptor in Norway. A vast number of his works are displayed in Frogner Park in Oslo. Here he sculpted the Vigilant installation, which you see here. He sculpted all of his subjects in the nude so as to disassociate a time era or an economic status to the individuals. His works depicts emotion of the subjects, anger, dismay, curiosity, and includes life from birth to death. This is the Borgund stave church. Stave referring to the type of timber framing which was used in medieval times. Kirkenes was occupied by 100,000 Nazi troops during World War II. They turned iron mines into cave bomb shelters. We are now entering Lapland of the Sami indigenous people.
I love how she did close-ups of the art, like, and then pull back and then close-ups. Got a lot of detail and the transitions. I really enjoyed that.
Nice.
Sound.
Yes, audio.
Audio.
As always, as Sherry Lee knows, I love my audio. Your
Yeah,
your narration was great, and the music you picked was great. Everything was great. Just the audio levels and the adjustment of the audio levels. Here in the club, there's times where I'm turning the volume up to hear you, and then the music really comes in pretty high. And
Yeah.
that's something that at some point in a couple of weeks or so, I'm going to try to have a little demo here in the club. I keep talking about doing it on audio and mixing and levels and stuff, and just evening things out. Some of your music was at a really good level. Some was a little too much. Some was a little too low. And then your voice would be low and stuff. So anyway, I mean, short of that, everything else I thought was pretty darn nice.
I wanted more narration. I wanted her to tell me about the Sunni reindeer herders, and I wanted all the information. I needed that narration to be on almost every slide.
Yeah, I think I just got disgusted with my voiceover that I just put the text in. So I've got to expand on either one or the other, I guess. So
There's this program that's free from Microsoft called ClipChamp, and there's one redeeming feature in it. It has a really nice voiceover module. Sure, or you can literally watch it do the voiceover while you're watching it, and it saves it as a separate track.
Okay.
oh, okay, yeah, because I was checking out Audacity. And it helps a little bit. I think I didn't have it in this particular video, but I've been kind of playing with that a little bit to see if that helps. But I think a big part of it is where you actually do the voiceover. So that's what I'm kind of trying to figure out too. Maybe in my
Catherine, what program are you using to produce?
Photopia.
Oh, okay. Don't know it.
Which one is everyone else using? Maybe there's a better one.
Is this your editing program? What is it again?
Photopia?
Are you on a PC, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Okay. Never heard of it. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah. I mean, it does pretty much everything. I think it's, even with the audio, it'll decrease if you have a slide voice and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, so something I need to work on.
I don't know if it'll do it. And see, I just use iMovie, but in iMovie, you can narrate a section and then play it back, and then do another section, play it back, so you can kind of learn what levels you want and monitor it as you're doing it.
Yeah, you can do it in this one as well. So,
well, good. That's what I'd suggest. Put yourself in a closet somewhere, or who used the car? I guess Susan.
Yeah,
did the car, sat in the car to do her recording, and that worked out really well. But a closet really works pretty well too, with a lot of clothes, so it muffles everything else but you.
Oh, good. Well, I've got a master bedroom.
And if you stand up while you do it, that helps too. Gives you a little projection.
Okay, that's cool to know.
Yes, Phil?
Housekeeping. If people online could turn their mics off during the presentations, it would help a lot.
Yeah.
I thought it had a lot of flaws, but it was a really marvelous look at those countries.
Yeah.
But it was, from our standpoint, somebody was puking in the back. And it kind of detracted from what I thought was a great video.
Sure. I would agree with our Zoomers. If we play something, if you can mute your microphone, that would be great, just so if the doorbell rings or the phone rings or something, we don't hear it. But I think all in all, I mean, you've really done a nice job with these two videos that you shared with us. And your voice is a very nice voice for narration. I wouldn't go to any sort of artificial voice. And then I would agree, having some narration at the end would have been nice, because you were giving us all this really nice narration at the beginning, and then all at once it kind of stopped.
Yeah.
But I think press on. But like I said, we'll have a audio workshop in here, and we'll just show you some little basics about doing that. And it'll help your presentation when that balance is evened out. So
okay.
One of the things that you did was you gave us visual questions throughout the film. As an example, why was this guy hanging on a magic carpet across the river? I mean, there were so many visual questions in your video that the viewer, they go, what was that? And then they move on to something else, and it kind of distracts. So I think for some of the stuff just needs a little explanation.
Todd?
So there was one section when you were showing the couple Laplanders inside, and he was holding up like a wooden cup or something. Did you have the audio from what he was saying?
Yeah.
And everything.
I do. I think I decreased that so that the music would stay in. But so you want to actually hear what he's saying?
It might be interesting. It could be interesting. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you just have to, like any narration of music, just have to duck it in and out.
Play with it a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody have anything else? Yeah, Shirley.
I just loved how you did the pictures in front of the picture, like the same picture, and the back was like, higher, less opaque or
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
artist, it was faded, and then you had the picture moving across it. I thought that style was so beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
I really liked that.
Shirley, we can see in your next video you're going to be doing that. No, it's a really nice effect, and it's a great way, especially like with vertical pictures, to put something back there, just to give it some, instead of it just being a vertical like an iPhone shot and then a black screen. Nice to have something else back there going. Yes, Tom.
What did you use to take your pictures with?
What were you using?
Well, a lot of those were on my Samsung Galaxy,
Yeah.
and a few were with my Nikon Z7. So you can tell which ones are the phone for sure. But yeah.
Well, it looked great. It looked good. It looked good here.
Oh, that's good.
Better. All right. Does anybody have anything else? Holly, you said you've got something to share for us. Why don't you go and tell us about it and share it?
Okay, so I've got two things. One's a less than 2-minute video that my phone basically produced on Iceland. And the other is the beginning of a script, because I thought I'd get input from you folks before I did the work. So what I'm doing is making a travelogue for Paul McCreary's travelogue, which needs to be about 20 minutes, and making a presentation for the travel club, which needs to be about 40 minutes, 45. So I'm going to do this, but I've got to get them done by March, and I've got to get pieces that I don't want to carry with me to Arizona done by February 1st, since that's when I'm flying out there. So what I hope to get from you is comments on the video clip, kind of what you'd like to see more of or less of, or particularly like or dislike, and then the script ideas also. So first I'll do the video clip. Okay, so that took no time from me because it's all done by the phone automatically. Other than taking the pictures, of course. But anybody have anything that catches their eye as it looked interesting or no?
Now here's a question. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was going to ask, did you intentionally do it vertically? Because if you had held your phone horizontally when you started having it create that video, maybe the video would have been horizontal. I know that I goofed one time, and in iMovie, I put a vertical picture at the beginning, and then the whole video was vertical. So
yeah, probably I just had the phone vertical when I made it. Yeah. So that would I won't be doing that when I do iMovie for sure. But thank you for that.
Is the purpose of what we just saw just kind of a feel out obviously you're making a longer version of this video.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
And-
it's going to be an Iceland travelogue, showing the geographic features, the culture, the architectural features, the people, the animals.
Okay. Are you you're going to add some narration, you said, as well for this?
Somewhat.
Some narration?
Oh, for sure. Yes. Oh,
Okay,
let
good.
me tell you what I'm starting with that and show you the next part first.
Okay,
Maybe that'll
good.
make more sense.
Yes, that would-
I'll share the screen again. And what I'm going to show you is a PDF that was made. I used notes on my iPhone to dictate, again, because I'm like pressed for time at this point. I've got to get out of here by February 1st. And then I had it create a PDF from my dictation, which I will fill in more, then print out, and then redictate, narrate into the movie eventually. So let me share the screen, and it's this Iceland PDF. Make that bigger.
Okay. Oh, you're
Okay.
fine.
All right. So eventually, do you see this bar that says sharing and so on? Or is that just on my screen?
You're fine. We see the text fine, Holly.
Okay, great. All right. So I'm going to start the video with a hook, and it will be photos of the land of fire and ice. It'll show volcanoes, mountains, lava flows, northern lights, geysers, geothermal features, the glacial lagoon, the bay of icebergs, some cold weather and snow. So that'll probably be about 10 photos or very short videos with the lava flow. And the background will be the song Fire and Ice, which I have recorded from Michigan Club, actually. A couple of ladies recorded that song for me. And the intro will tell about who went, what basically what it's about, Iceland, and when and where. So then I'll start the body of it with who I went with and how I got there, and I'll probably do a little bit about COVID. And in the middle, do why Iceland, and the people, the language, the food, the architecture, the fauna, more on the geography. So this is obviously just very beginning. The photos are all done, but long ago, Phil Wenstrand said, you really should do the script first. At least that's what I remember hearing. So that's what I'm sketching out what the narration would be like.
Well, I think you're doing a nice job with what you're laying out in terms of what you want this video to be. So it's going to be interesting to see this when it's all said and done.
I'm just asking you off the cuff, how many of you have been to Iceland? And I don't see any hands. And
No.
What would you like to know?
Well, John has a quick question for you.
Okay, John.
I was just wondering is this just for the club or who is the target audience for this?
Oh, it's going to be not for Multimedia SIG at all. It's going to be for the travelogue audience, which is a group that Paul McCreary presents shows to. It's Camera Club members and GVR members. And then it's also going to be for the Travel Club, which is another GVR club.
Okay. Well, it's going to be great to see this when it's all said and done. All right.
Okay.
Anybody have anything else on that? Okay.
For us, for the future, we might want to think about maybe having a little session where we just talk about planning a video and how one, runs through the.
You bet.
I'd like to be part of that.
So there you go.
I really think that would be important for us.
Sure.
Yeah, in that planning, I've already gone back and taken screenshots of maps available on the internet. I took photos of maps when I went. I just took photos of the 3 books that I'm going to use for reference. So the covers, at least.
Good.
So
Tom, you had something?
Yeah, I was just wondering, are you doing your storyline or your outline before your trip, or is this after the fact?
oh, this is after the trip. I am not that good a planner, I have to say. I probably got I would guess about 5,000 photos of and video clips of Iceland. And obviously I'm not going to be using them all. Some were done by the iPhone and some were done with my Panasonic Lumix.
Okay, well, great. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing this when it's all said and done.
Okay.
Does anybody have anything else on this? Any Zoomers, do we have anything else? I've got one video quick to show of mine to close out the day. If anybody on Zoom has anything else that they want to share. Okay. This is a quick little video. This is from San Diego right before Christmas at the Balboa Park. There's the Japanese Friendship Gardens. And so this is just a quick little 2-minute video on that. Okay, there you go.
Really nice perspective.
What's that, Holly?
Really nice perspective. You get really interesting angles at your shots.
Well, thanks. Well, it's my wacky selective focus that I love so much. So selective focus.
You said wacky?
Wacky.
Wacky.
Wacky. I'm known for my wacky selective focus.
We're just gonna call you Mr. Vignette.
Or Mr. Wacky Focus. So anyway, that was a lot of fun to put that little piece
I'm
together.
curious, why did you choose a non-Asian sounding? I love it.
Yeah. You know, it was a thing where when I was looking for music and I was thinking, okay, I want to find something that has that Asian Japanese flair. And I came across that piece and I liked the birds. And I was
Yeah, I
like,
like the birds too.
it kind of gives it that kind of outdoor feel, and there's a little bit of it. Now they said that was in the Asian genre of music. So there's a service I use called Story Blocks, and anyway, they have
But you
100,000
have to
songs.
pay.
You have to pay. It's a paid site. But anyway, it's one of those things. Music is always very subjective, as we've talked about, and just something about that one hit me, and I'm like, okay, I like it. Yes, Doc.
And your transitions flowed really, really great.
Well, thanks. Well, you know that I'm just Grace and I have talked about this. And she's the same way. Cross dissolves, and you know, on something like that, it smooths everything out, and you're trying to set a mood, a different mood. Usually, it's not a high energy thing, so it's more subtle with what you're doing. So anyway,
And you did what most people in this class never do. They never shoot close-ups. This is a postcard class.
yeah,
And but well, it is. I mean, you shoot wide. Oh, it's a big building. Let's shoot it wide. Not the nice, door
yeah.
jam and that kind of. And you always show us up on that. I really appreciate it.
Well, thanks. Well, you're very kind.
First, one more thing, the audio level on that just was not quite right. You need to go the DB down about 0.02.
No, it's what it is, Roy. You have to turn your hearing aid down. You got to turn it a little too high.
So the hearing aid down 5 dBs.
Kevin, where did you find the music?
Works for me.
The music is from a pay service called Story Blocks that I use. So
Okay.
it's a yearly. You can buy the songs individually, or you can do a yearly thing. It's about $150 a year.
So I always cheat and just buy it by the month.
There you go. So anyway, it's a very good service. I obviously use it for business. I probably would not use it otherwise. I find there's plenty of free music.
Yeah, there really is.
Yeah.
The Story Blocks is so good.
Yes, it is. Anybody else?
Yeah, it's the first thing this is so different from anything else. I think my third week here.
Yeah.
Everything has been, as you said, like the big, hi, we're going to tell you a story. We took a trip. This was a photo essay. It's the first one I've seen that was really serious about the photography, and that was really nice. And so you didn't have to tell a story,
Right.
because your images told the story. I mean, we were drawn powerfully into the imagery, and I think it's something that everybody could try for more, is to really think about your photography, and especially, yes, close-ups.
Sure.
Focus, choosing your focus, make a big difference. Be drawn into the image, even when you're still telling a travel story or something like. Look
Sure.
for those images that tell a story in themselves, just as being great photographic images.
Well, thanks. Well, I think it also comes from the perspective of being you or a video guy. Phil's a video guy. I'm a still guy.
Yeah.
And so that's where that comes, and the whole thing of, in a sense, a moving slideshow is what this becomes, versus just pop the image up and off the screen. So
In video, you can also do close-ups.
Oh, yeah.
You can also use the motion.
Oh, yeah.
That's why you've got video, so you can use motion, not just the motion that's happening in front of you, but the motion of the camera.
Well, that place, Balboa Park, if you haven't been there, you should go there.
Yes.
It's just, there's so many different photo
Now,
opportunities.
you see that, you immediately want to go there. So yeah, that, instead of just saying, okay, well, I guess I've seen that.
Yeah.
You say, oh, well, I want to see that, because you didn't have, I didn't see the big thing.
No.
Now I want to see what this place is.
Sure.
I had beautiful photographic images, and now I want to go there and see what it is. So it's a way of not telling us, oh, I went there,
Right.
and you don't need to go.
Right.
Because I just told you about it. You did the opposite. You said, you should, you made me really want to go there. See
Right.
it with my own eyes.
Well, I will quickly tell you the other thing too is, at a different time of year, like spring or something, when everything is blooming, overall shots would be great. Well, at this time of year, there's not a lot that's going on, so you're trying to find that color and light, and you're trying to sit there and say, okay, I'm going to zoom in because I don't want to show you a bunch of bare trees. That doesn't do you any good.
But you found the winter light. That's what you do.
No, it was nice. Well, thank you.
That's a minor part of that park. I mean, that's.
Oh, I know.
A
It's
little
huge.
space, the buildings there.
Oh, yeah.
That's from the California Exposition of
Yep.
whatever year. it was.
19, whatever, 16 or something.
Yeah,
Start of the century, so.
all made out of paper mache.
All right. Does anybody have anything else before we close out today? Okay. Next week will be the 23rd, I believe. And Mr. Todd Taylor will be our host here in the club.
The Apprentice.
You're not the apprentice, you're the host. And he's going to actually be here for the next 2 weeks because I'm going to be on the road for shoots. So anyway, we look forward to seeing everybody either here in the club or on Zoom. Thanks again for coming out. We hope everybody has a great week. Bye-bye now.
Thanks. Bye, Kevin.
You.
Thank you.